Hey, y'all. Have you ever struggled with sharing your faith with others? The Bible's very clear that each one of us are commanded to share the faith that God has given us with the world around us. You may be intimidated by that, and it may be a scary thought to you, or you may have encountered an obnoxious Christian in the past and you just don't want to be that guy or that gal. I understand all of those things. But I want to give you a really easy, simple, practical way that you can share your faith. And that's simply to share your story with the world around you. Your story is the story of what God has done in your life. You don't have to have a theology degree or be a great orator to share your story. All you have to do is think about it a little bit and be prepared to share it. There's a very simple way to develop your story in such a way that it's easy for you to remember. It comes in three parts. The first part is, what was your life like before you came to know the Lord? Now, a word of warning here, don't make this overly long or in great detail. We all have dealt with life without the Lord, and we've all made our mistakes, and we all have our issues. The point of this is not to make ourselves greater or more evil or wicked than anybody else. The point is that we can identify with one another, that we all fall short. So take maybe 2 or 3 sentences, maybe 30 seconds, and think about and describe and communicate what your life was like before you came to know the Lord. Next, share how you came into a relationship with Christ. Every relationship has a beginning. How did yours start? Oftentimes, it includes another person that shared their faith with us. Maybe it was in church, maybe it was at your house, maybe you were reading your Bible or reading some other book. How did you come to that point of salvation? It's easy to share this in a few sentences in a few moments. And then the final part is just as important as the other two. So what has your life been like since your salvation? This is very important because a lot of times people think about salvation as just about what happens to us when we die. And that's important, but salvation doesn't begin on the day that we die. Salvation begins on the day that we're born again. So, what has God been doing in your life this week? How has God answered your prayers this week? How is God transforming your life today? Share those things in your testimony. Just a few sentences. And you'll be able to share this with people in just a few moments in a way that's not threatening and it's not obnoxious. It's not overbearing. It's just your story. In fact, Peter told us that we should always be prepared to make a defense to anyone who asks us for the reason for the hope that lies within us. But he also said, yet do it with gentleness and respect. That means we must do things like ask permission to share. We must make sure that we're sensitive to people's feelings, that we're reading their body language. We're not salesmen. We're not making a pitch and we're not closing the deal. We're called to share the greatest thing that's ever happened in our lives. As we think about that, it's our story. And nothing could ever take that away from us. But the very fact that it happened to us and that we're sharing it with others gives it a richness and a power that nothing else can have. What's your story? Are you willing to share it with others? My prayer is that you'll go and you'll find someone who's willing to listen, and you'll share just a short episode of the testimony of what God has done in bringing you to Himself. God will reward your faithfulness, and God will use your story in the lives of others. God bless you.